Hi, everyone. Welcome for today's session. I think that it's time, 2 o'clock, so we can kickstart this. Welcome to this webinar session where Scape X Object Recognition meets DISPLAX PCAP Touch. We have prepared a quite interesting show for you today. We believe that by the end of today, you should be able to understand a little bit better what does DISPLAX do, what's the Scape X Object Recognition solution, and before we close the session, have a better understanding of how this combination between the two worlds can be presented to hand customers and engage with them in quite unique setups that can trigger some ideas of what you can do with your own customers by involving TSI. I think that the best thing is to start with introductions. My name is Nuno Fernandes. I'm Business Development Director at DISPLAX, and I'm here.
I'm Nelson Andrade. I'm Support Manager here at DISPLAX, and thank you everyone for joining us today.
Thank you. So together with us co-hosting this session, we have directly from Germany, an interactive Scape.
Hello, welcome from our rooftop lab. My name is Mike. I'm Chief Commercial Officer here at Interactive Scape, and also brought technical support with me.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Thilo Röhrig, also from Berlin Interactive Scape, and I'm the team lead and also a developer in the Scape X of the Scape X engine. And we're very happy to have Chris around with us. So hi, Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Martel, the Director of Engineering for TSI Touch, based here in the United States.
Okay, so good. So this is the team. It's showcasing live from 3 different locations in the world, and let's give you some overview of what we will have today in terms of session. Before we go into the session per se, let me introduce you to the platform. So if you are not familiar with it, it might be useful to go a little bit into the details of what you can find. We try to make these webinar sessions as interactive as possible and invite attendees to engage with us in different ways. So if you look to your platform on the top left side of your screen, you will have several buttons. I will just focus on the chat button. If you want to engage with us, say hi to everyone else, or if you are somehow experience some issue, can report over there. And then we have a second button, which I believe it will be one of the most important in this session, which is the question button. We invite you throughout the entire webinar to pose as many questions as you have. We have reserved the end of this presentation. I think that what we have prepared should take us around 45 minutes. And after that, we have reserved the time to cover as much as possible all the questions that we will receive. And then on that stage, we will, depending on the core of the question, either we try to reply from here, or we throw the ball to Interactive Scape or to TSI Touch. So that's the platform. Let me just give you an overview of what we have prepared for today. Following these introductions, we will give you a short overview of what's DISPLAX, what's the projected capacity, and what are our products, our developments, and how they can be used in different settings, specifically on the setting that we combine with Scape X from Interactive Scape. Then that's a good opportunity to make the bridge to Interactive Scape, and they will take control of the session to go deeper into Scape X solutions. We will have, after that, a discussion or a presentation where we put these two realities together. And at the end, before the presentation ends, we go to TSI Touch, so they can present us some use cases of these combinations into real life use cases, and this could be, I think, one of the most interesting parts, because it can trigger some ideas of what can be done in real life using these two products. So talking a little bit about DISPLAX, I'll try to be short. The idea here is just to give a short overview of the company for those that don't know us. DISPLAX, it's a global leader of projected capacitive touch sensors. We were the first company in the world introducing projected capacitive with multi-touch functionality in large format, and that happened more than 10 years ago. We are an European manufacturer with headquarters based in Portugal, and here we have everything. So we have the sales team, the support team. Most important, we also have production capacity. We design and produce the touch sensors here. We have an R&D team that sits next to our sales team, and we are able to grab the information from the market and feed them with what the market is asking for, so they can actually incorporate those notes into product development. So it's quite important that we are close by and that we can have this relationship. So we end up owning everything, from the sensor design to the touch controllers, the algorithms that process the touch. It's all owned by DISPLAX. We have our own range of touch controllers that will cover standard options and customized options. And we are able to develop specific firmware adaptations if needed, depending on use cases. You will see it's a wide range of products that can cover pretty much whatever scenario you would like to have in terms of interactivity. It's different sizes, different shapes, ready for a specific one unique product to mass production volumes. So over here on this part of the presentation, we are just giving an overview of our product line. We have a product line for customization and for standardization that gives us the flexibility to address pretty much all the requirements that we see in the market. On our custom touch screens, and that's where we started, our product, our premium product is the Skin Ultra, which delivers the best touch experience. It's the touch sensor that we have with the highest touch resolution. It delivers up to 100 touch points, but it's also where we had functionalities like the pressure sensing, infinity feature, and the infinity feature is quite important for one of the products that we will discuss later, which is the Tile Pro, since it allows you to have touch sensors placed next to each other without them interfering with each other. So that's quite important. The top selling product at DISPLAX is the Skin Fit. It's perhaps the best price performance balance, and you can see it being used a little bit everywhere. It's ideal for indoor, but also for outdoor and even for harsh environments. It's prepared with algorithms to face the elements and to put all the potential interferences that you can have from the elements, like heavy rain, difference in temperatures, the ice doesn't interfere with nothing. The newest comer to our portfolio is Skin Z2, which was developed less than 1 year ago, like a few months introduced to the market. It's a newborn. It addresses a different market than what we had before. It's specifically to cope with the requirements for industrial markets with smaller dimensions, but also with tough requirements in terms of immunity to noise. So DISPLAX Skin Z2 addresses that market, and it goes from 7 meters up to 24 inches. Just to give you an idea, it can cope with glass thickness up to 20 millimeters thick, which is quite a thick substrate. We also have the Dual Touch, which is our entry-level product, ideal for those projects that are not so demanding in terms of functionalities. The budget is also part of the concern. And one of the things that we have been able to do with our R&D team is to introduce novelties to the market. So not only we were the first company launching multi-touch on PCAP, but we are also the first company launching a true round touch sensor into the market a few years ago. And these round sensors can go up to 1,410 millimeters of diameter. Once we deployed the Skin Round and we understood that we could do this, we introduced other solutions, like, for example, other different shapes, like we can manufacture true triangular shaped sensors, trapezoidal sensors, half elliptics, half rounds, you name it. There is a wide variety of shapes that we can offer to the market. And this was our standard, our customized offer. Now just a short overview of what we have to offer for the standard market. This is prepared for mass production and for volumes. It's our mesh solution that comes already with specific cover glasses. So you have predefined the dimensions with a specific cover glass outline that goes from 22 inches up to 86 inches. And it's just ready to go, makes sense, facilitates the integration of a product into your setups. That's actually that's actually the product that we use to develop the overlay. And the overlay, in addition to the cover glass, it comes already with a specific metal frame all around and some brackets that makes it quite easy to transform a regular LCD without touch into a touch device in less than 2 minutes. It's designed, and we have different overlays designed for specific LCD references for the main vendors. This is LG, Samsung, Sony, Panasonic, Sharp. So we have designed for specific references, specific overlays that will fit and allow you to transform them in less than 2 minutes into a touch device. Now, closer to one of the most interesting products that we have today, which is the Tile and the Tile Pro. What we are seeing here is the Tile. It was the development that we offered to the market a few years ago when we understood that a lot of the market was asking for the ability of transforming large video walls into multi-touch. And back then we were doing that with the Skin Ultra, which was really difficult to manage. It would take several months in designing the concept and the project. And we come up with a way to simplify the whole process by having a video wall 55-inch screen already with the touch embedded and a small bezel of only 6 millimeters. And from that moment on, we were able to shorten this kind of projects from several months into a couple of weeks. Once again, we listened to the market. The market came again back to us and said, okay, this is perfect. This is really great, but it would be even better if you could reduce the bezel. And that's what we did. A couple of years after launching the Tile, we came up with the Tile Pro, where we were able to reduce the bezel from 6 to 2 millimeters. I think it's even identical to what we have even on iPhone. And with this development, not only we were able to reduce the bezel, but we were able to give additional functionalities to the touch. And that's something that we will explore a little bit better today. One of the things that we have done with the Tile Pro, it was to prepare it with a sensor and the integration, optimal integration, and a controller that will be able to give Interactive Scape the tools that they need to run their interactive the Scape X Object Recognition functionality. So that's, and I think that's one of the points that Mike and Thilo will cover next. We have different products that can be used with their functionality. We have, and this will cover the requirement of some certification that we will explore later. But one of the things that it's good with the Tile Pro, it's already certified, it's already good to go. If there isn't a requirement to combine it with the Scape X, then this is the easiest way forward on this. But there are also other solutions on our portfolio, Skin Ultra, Skin Round, and Mesh, depending on the sizes, depending on the configuration that we can prepare to be used also with Scape X. And with this part covered, I would kind of invite Mike and Thilo to give us a better overview, not only about Interactive Scape, but also about object recognition, about Scape X, and about all of these tweaks that we have just announcing now.
Thank you to Nuno and Nelson. Quickly starting who we are. Interactive Scape, we are a company based in Berlin, Germany, and we specialize in multi-touch object recognition technology and pioneering new forms of collaborative human-machine interaction. Founded in 2008 as a spin-off from our sister company, Werk 5, renowned specialist in premium architectural model building and prototyping. With that background, we set out from the very beginning to bridge always the gap between digital and physical interaction, combining the best of both worlds. Quickly accept this. After years of experimenting with optical touch recognition, we transitioned to PCAP touch sensor technology first in 2015, marking also the launch of our first own Scape tangible display products. Now, since 2020, we have been scaling our patented AI-powered Scape X technology. For us, a milestone innovation that has redefined the stability and capability of multi-touch object recognition. And with this breakthrough, it opened up new applications, industries, and markets worldwide, and also led us to join forces with new partners, greatly expanding our network to bring Scape X unique capabilities to life. So now, coming from a little history lesson, let's take a step back. What is actually object recognition? What makes our core technology Scape X so special? And what does it deliver that others cannot?
Starting. Cancel.
So now you should see the display right in front of us, which is one of our Scape tangible 55-inch displays with objects. So instead of just explaining, quickly jumping to showing what it is. Here you can see what our displays and the Scape X engine is able to recognize, differentiate, and provide to software applications. So at the end, what we can do is touch points, of course. As many fingers as you can fit on a table also are recognized simultaneously without an issue. Next to that, our displays provide you object, token, tangible, however you want to name it, information, and broken down. This is what you can see here, or also with other objects. It's always the same logic. So you have a position of an object on the X and Y axis. You have a rotation angle precision of less than 1 degree that can be used. And you have a special ID. So all of these objects have a different ID. Standard, we do have 24 IDs, but also more than 300 are possible if necessary as a custom solution. Completely passive objects. And we do have these in different shapes and sizes. The logic is always the same. And at the end, it is up to the application developers and creatives how to use these information. Of course, there we are happy to help and also have quite some experience. The information is also made available really seamlessly via the open source 2U protocol, ensuring simple and universal software integration from node-based systems like V4, Touch Designer, and Ventus to platforms such as Unity, Unreal Engine, or web-based frameworks. All of them are naturally compatible with 2U. So what is now special about Scape X compared to other object recognition systems? Scape X connects AI or neural networks with high-quality PCAP data. While conventional PCAP displays only detect touch points and translate some combinations of them into objects, our Scape X engine goes deeper, recognizing and interpreting the underlying individual capacitive effects of things. Thus, a touch point from a finger is something completely different than a tangible object from the point of view of our engine, so to say. Our AI can thus be also trained to recognize specific conductive shapes as different objects. For example, we've successfully taught the engine to identify mobile devices just by their rectangular shape without any attachment necessary. And we even created, for example, a custom pan or cookingware recognition feature for a kitchen manufacturer. So basically every object that is somehow conductive and has an individual effect can be trained to be recognized by our engine. That's the specialty around it. So much to the machine room of the engine, but what to do with it? Really quick digging into some use cases and benefits around it. So one nice example is if you, for example, do pinch to zoom as the simple touch gesture that everyone is used to today. It's great if one person wants to moderate or present a content or work in an app. But as soon as you have multiple users on one joint surface sitting around a table, it's just great to connect certain features and functionalities to an object. Because now, while turning, I can also zoom, like pinch to zoom, but in my individual space. And another person, like Thilo here, can do it the very same time without disturbing each other. So it allows multi-user interactions and really coming together and gathering around the table as we did for Century, but now enabling it with having a digital table. And there also you can, of course, magnify into playful content, but also we are into much more serious fields today, like smart city or also in control rooms. Next to zooming in, zooming out, what you also can do with such an object is changing different layers of map data. For example, here we have a map of Berlin, and then before World War II and after World War II, how it looked like compared to today, to also access another exploration of data and data layers. Another nice use case, if I dig into our mobile recognition and how we use that, and also partners and customers use that. What I can do now, I can bring mobile devices here, for example, via a QR code to a little mobile website, and then we have a connection between the mobile website and the table application. In this case, via internet, but also Bluetooth and other things would be possible. Of course, it's recognized, but more importantly, to showcase that a data exchange effectively is possible. I'm doing a live photo here really quick. And as soon as I place my phone on the screen, I get this exact content on here. I can edit it, of course. Do some things just to showcase that you can trigger a data exchange between table and mobile and the other way around. Here really playfully, but we also have it in professional settings such as retail banking desk, where, for example, investment contracts can be pushed on the table directly to a customer's mobile device, or on trade shows where visitors can take marketing material with them, with their own phones. Also, that's just a really small glimpse. Use cases range from police control rooms to children museums, from infrastructure planning to experience center presentation, and much more. Our technology is already deployed in hundreds of locations worldwide, and feel free to reach out afterwards if you'd like to explore specific use cases in a dedicated session. So next topic, how Scape X integrates into the premium DISPLAX Tile Pro Skin Ultra Mesh Skin Round components. While our own portfolio includes two reliable, well-tested display products, the Scape Tangible displays in 55 and 65 inch, of course, we recognize also on the market that many projects require more flexibility when it comes to screen size, specifications, and form factors. That's why we are happy that we've partnered up with DISPLAX to enable Scape X certification of new additional multi-touch hardware powered by their flexible premium PCAP solutions. This integration brings our advanced AI-powered object recognition to an even wider variety of display sizes and shapes, which Thilo now can outline in greater detail.
Yeah, so thanks, Mike. I'm happy to get you started with how this Scape exporting to Tile Pro worked. We were very happy that DISPLAX developed this fantastic controller, which allowed us as a first step to certify the Tile Pro as one of the first screens in our Scape X ecosystem. And the two, Scape Pro, Tile Pro, and Scape X have already been supplied, deployed in many projects. And how does it work? Well, what you need is one of the premium Tile Pro screens and one of the modules. So we have managed to extract our engine from our tangible screens and made it available as a small powerhouse, which you can attach to the Tile Pro once you get the two. All you need then to get the full experience is to get some objects, some stickers, some magnifiers, or your own custom mobile application, which will then allow to harvest the full potential of Tile Pro and Scape X Mobile. A little more detail about this great product, the Tile Pro, will be brought to you by Nelson from DISPLAX, and I'm happy to hand over to Portugal again.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Thilo, for the one-on-one on the Scape X Object Recognition features. So the Tile Pro, as already been mentioned, it's a 55 inches PCAP screen, and the PCAP has a huge impact here because thanks to that, it's not affected by light, dust, or any other external factors that can affect the performance of your application. Other than that, the Tile Pro is equipped with a powerful controller that has been designed and developed in-house here at DISPLAX by our R&D team. Shout out to them because once again they did a tremendous work with it. So congrats. This controller, as I was saying, since it was developed here, we have full control over all algorithms, firmwares, data, everything that Interactive Scape requires for a smooth and amazing experience using the Scape X. In terms of connections, it's also pretty straightforward. You connect the Scape X engine to the Tile Pro via USB. The Scape X engine will connect to the PC via Ethernet, and it's ready to send to your data to any compatible application that you will run on that PC. Another very convenient, and as Mike's fact that, and as Mike said before, it's the fact that the Tile Pro is already certified. The AI-based object recognition from the Scape X already knows how to work on the Tile Pro. So it makes it a combination of an out-of-the-box combination. Therefore, making it a strongest combination on this partnership between DISPLAX and Interactive Scape. We of course have the possibility to make the Scape X work with other DISPLAX products, and for that they need to go through a sort of training. But about that, I will let Mike go a bit more, talk about it.
I'm muting again and handing over to Thilo for that.
Yeah, so as Nelson said, so with the DISPLAX new premium controller, they not only opened up for using the Tile Pro, but like the whole sensor range was opened up to Scape X technology, which of course is a huge step into a bigger market. But unfortunately, the things are not very, very easy. So it's complex because there's so many parameters DISPLAX offers. So starting from size, sensor pitch, sensor type, so glass thickness, panel. So there's a whole variety, and they not yet. So we are thinking about in the future that it should work out of the box. But currently, we still need one of your devices in our house, because unfortunately, it's not just not training a new model for your screen is not ad hoc, but we need special technology. So we use our robots to train, to collect data, to test the quality, to make sure that everybody gets the best of experience from our joint products. So that's how we joined and started certifying other screens like the 43-inch from TSI. And now I'll continue with Mike, and we'll go on.
Yeah, so to this date, there are initial NRE costs, as we heard. So Scape X certification makes most sense for partners planning to deploy more than a single device, at least today. If you're interested in certifying your custom hardware anyhow, we invite you to reach out to DISPLAX and us and discuss your project and need. We've already started this process successfully, for example, with our US partners TSI Touch and other integrators, enabling the innovative and scalable solutions you can really rely on. Over time, as our data set, our experience grows, and our AI also continues to learn, of course, the certification process will become more efficient and easier, allowing us to tailor our technology offering together even better to your business needs. Meanwhile, you can already leverage a plug-and-play Scape X experience with the Scape Tangible, with the Tile Pro, and certified solutions from top integration partners, as we have with TSI Touch, who have deployed several multi-touch displays for the US market. And yeah, with that, I'm more than happy to hand over to the States for some additional insights.
Perfect. I need control so I can share my presentation.
Okay, give us a second.
It takes some time to cross the Atlantic, you know.
Far away.
Of course.
So here we go.
Perfect. So once again, I'm Chris Martell, the Director of Engineering with TSI Touch. I'm going to share a little bit of information about our company and about what we do and how we do it, as well as a couple of use cases that we've leveraged using DISPLAX's capacitive sensor technology and the Scape X engine from Interactive Scape. So we are a leading provider of touchscreen and protective display solutions in the United States. We work with pretty much every display manufacturer that exists in the marketplace today. So your Sharp, NEC, LG, Samsung, Philips, pretty much Sony, every display manufacturer. We also work with most of the large format direct view LED manufacturers to provide touch solutions for their products as well. We were founded back in 2011, spun off from a larger company. We're based in Uniontown, Pennsylvania in the United States, which, if you're not familiar, it's on the East Coast, Pennsylvania is, but it's more towards the western side of what we consider to be the East Coast. We have over a decade of experience. In fact, some members of our staff, myself included, are well over 25 years of experience in custom displays. And we have a reputation for excellence. We provide exactly what we say we're going to, and if something isn't right, we work to make it right. We have a wonderful ISO 9001:2015 quality standard that we work very hard to maintain, and we're very customer focused. Our goal is to provide the right solution for the application, not necessarily what the customer asks for, but what they actually need, because too often those two things are not the same. So what we do, quite simply, is we make things touch interactive. We will take a display from one of the larger display OEMs and figure out a way to build a custom touch sensor that we can then easily repeat and stock and integrate. We serve just about every vertical that exists: transportation, education, retail, government, museums, unique applications. We're no stranger to them. We also do protective solutions. So if somebody needs a display in a public area but does not need touch, we can provide a protective solution that will protect that display and protect their investment. We do video wall solutions with traditional LCD-based product, much like in touch, often leveraging DISPLAX's Tile product. We also do direct view LED with touches in many applications. We have a custom engineering staff on site, so if something needs to be made larger, smaller, different color, you name it, we can customize our products. That's kind of where we are. We're a custom provider that has many things off the shelf. We exceed through our partnership and our support efforts. There have been times where we will fly to another country or even to the opposite side of the world to go fix a problem that a customer is experiencing because it's the right thing to do. And we're focused on meeting all of the unique needs of the various industries that we work with. So we do quite a bit in transportation, airports, trains, bus terminals, and the like, as well as large corporate briefing centers, which are what our kind of example applications are today that we'll be talking about. Everything we do is purpose-built, so we start with a one-piece cold-rolled steel bezel that we have fabricated to our specifications. We integrate the different types of glass, different types of touch sensors, do a minimize of the parallax, so there's not a lot of offset from the display. We can get it down as low as 1 millimeter in some cases. We have also a patented protective solution for video walls, which is how we implement the DISPLAX tile. It's called our GRBS, our glass retention bezel system. So it is something that is mechanically fastened and not optically bonded to the display. It's a pretty unique solution in the market space. And again, our ISO 9001:2015 certification assures quality assurance. We live to that standard, and that's what we do. Interactive touch tables. Not sure if everybody's familiar, but traditionally, the only manufacturer that will allow tabletop application of their displays from the large display manufacturers is the Sharp NEC product line. So the majority of our touch tables are based around Sharp NEC products. We can do what's important here in the United States is something called the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. It basically mandates that any public installation that you do has to conform to certain guidelines for accessibility, namely clearances for wheelchairs or clearances for those who may be visually impaired, so they know there's an obstruction there. We do our very best to adhere to every guideline within the ADA. Our solutions are very customizable. I know our friends at Interactive Scape have commented about different sizes. We have deployed solutions using the Scape X engine on everything from 43 inches up to 75 inches today. Everything we do is quite durable and reliable, and it just quite simply works. We go out of our way to make sure that the solution just works. Object recognition. Previous iterations of object recognition obviously required very large objects to be affixed to whatever tangible object you wanted to be highlighting. This, it worked, and it worked quite well, but aesthetically it wasn't very pleasing. And this led to obviously some sea changes in terms of what the objects needed to look like to actually meet the aesthetic guidelines and the functionality that our customers expected. We partnered up with the folks at Interactive Scape, having met them a few years ago at Integrated Systems Europe. And it's been a great partnership. We've learned a lot together. We've made some wonderful, wonderful projects. Because their solution allows for virtually any object to become object recognition enabled when paired with the Scape X engine and a DISPLAX touchscreen. So some of the things that we'll do is we'll fully tailor an interactive solution for any environment. That means working with the fabricators to build the tables out properly, to support the screens, to ensure proper ventilation, to basically make sure that it looks like it was supposed to be in the space from the start and not something that was a secondary thought that got added in afterward. And that's kind of what we do. We go out of our way to make sure that the product performs properly, looks like it's supposed to be there, and more importantly, meets the goals and outcome of the particular project. So here are a couple of real-world applications. The application on the left, it's actually more or less two-in-one. We have a customer that handles large-scale logistics across the globe. They need to know what their available land, air, and sea assets are for deliveries, basically. And this allows them to see them in real time. They can take the different objects and different pucks, put them on the screen, and zoom into a particular region and see what they have available for their logistical services. It also echoes a secondary application that a different customer of ours deployed recently using a 43-inch sensor. What they are doing is very similar. They are a large company, a multinational company that has products that range everything from like agricultural products through flow control valves for satellite altitude thrusters. And they go out of their way to have a huge breadth of technology that they can showcase in their customer briefing center, but it was very cumbersome the way that it was being done originally. So they asked us to come up with a way that they could have different tokens to represent their different product lines, put them on a screen, and then have those product lines populate on their large direct view LED that surrounds the customer in the room. The objects on the right represent a museum application that's moving forward, whereby they are basically doing a build your own campaign poster using political slogans from the early part of the 20th century. So that's a project we're very excited to be working with. It will be deployed and live in the first quarter of next year. But it's a very interesting and kind of meaningful project to be able to do for education. And those are kind of our two projects in a nutshell. With that, I'll turn control back over to our folks at DISPLAX.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Quite interesting projects that you're seeing. And this is, as you were mentioning, just a few examples of what you can do, combining object recognition with touch devices and combining the physical worlds with the digital, which is quite good. I think that this, in terms of presentation, this is kind of in a nutshell what we have prepared for you guys today. What we discussed here, it was how to use DISPLAX projected capacitive touch sensors and touch controllers with the kind of data that we are able to provide to Interactive Scape, how we can be used together with the Scape X engines to deliver a unique object recognition functionality. And then the examples that Chris was sharing with us, just a few examples of how you can go to real world and show these kind of solutions and give some ideas to you guys. I think that as we discuss it, if it is something or if you are looking for a touch screen already with object recognitions, then the easiest way to go forward is with the Tile Pro 55 inches. It will be easy and fast. Otherwise, if you are planning to develop, and we do receive this kind of requirements from customers over and over again, that they don't really want to get stuck with a 55 inches. They need something, for example, on a 65 or like TSI Touch 43 inches, or even a round-shaped solution. For those cases, I would say if it is to develop a single product, it might be out of scope, because Scape X needs to be trained with the sensor, with the setup. So there's all the part that Mike and Thilo were telling us regarding the certification. There is a process, there is some NRE cost associated, which means that it will make sense if you want to develop some product to go to market, like a finished product, multi-touch table with a specific setup already with the engine trained for that specific configuration. The idea during this session was to have as many questions as possible. I'm not sure if our backstage already has some of those questions, because I think that this kind of wrap ups everything. So it's kind of, and I think that we are in line with the time.
Just in time. And
so what we will do next is to take a look to the questions that were being posed by the audience and see if we can reply to them. And then we will invite everyone to just leave your mics on, and you can just engage with us as we go along. So you have here Jakub. What is the resolution of the DISPLAX Tile Pro?
Okay, I can take this one. The Tile Pro is a full HD screen but it's upscalable also, because you can use it as video walls. You can daisy chain it, and the daisy chain supports resolutions up to 4K. So it's pretty easy and convenient resolution to have in a video wall, or even on a table, as long as you put them together.
Okay, so Next one from Anna Franco. Which certification does Tile Pro have? I think that we can, it's CE certification.
It's the CE certification and the DS. I think it has all the required certifications for the touch screens and normal screens, and so it has all of them.
Certified for Japan, for Europe, for UK, and I think that in line some more certifications that are being discussed.
Yeah.
If you have any specific requirements, just drop us a line and we can take a look if there is something that's already ongoing in terms of certification process. Now we have set. With that module, can you split the object into info to 2U, but keep the touch info through standard HID Windows touch events?
That sounds like, yeah. So Sebastian and I have already talked about this some time ago, because we had challenges integrating 2U into the browser pipeline. And so there, unfortunately, I have to say that currently this is not possible, I think. So we are either providing 2U data or native HID, so human interface device data. But yeah, don't hesitate to contact us if you have a big project. And as we have full control of the whole pipeline, we are always interested in interesting challenges. And DISPLAX can work on the controller side. We can work on the engine side. So and we are all curious and interested. So don't hesitate to contact us if you have a challenge.
Mm-hmm. So next question, Ahmed. Is there any limitation on the number of Tile Pro screens side by side?
By the top of my head, I can only think about one: the room. As long as you have the room, you can you can have the number of tiles you want side by side.
Yeah, there's also no constraint on the data, because like everything is processed tile by tile and then communicated via Ethernet, which is also very flexible and can handle quite a large amount of data. So this is then can be bundled just using a switch, and then you could have all the data you want fast on your application machine.
Because the configuration, you would have one Tile Pro screen, one model, one Tile Pro screen, one model, right?
Exactly.
And you can build that as large as you would like.
As long as your machine can cope with it,
yep.
There's no limitations.
So next question, Hamed. Does Tile Pro allow for growing the setup? Can I start with one unit and have more going forward?
I think we replied that already, but yes, that's totally possible.
And we have some cases that's actually exactly how it happens. Sometimes customer wants to have 1 or 2 units with them to actually develop the application and train the system and be comfortable with the user experience. And after that, they will deploy a larger setup. So it's already happening. Again from Anna, what is the best approach if I need a size other than 55 inches? That's a good question. So I think that the best approach is, as we were mentioning before, I think it makes sense when we actually want to develop kind of a product. So if it is just 1 unit, it's kind of more difficult, but it's also possible. It will always depend on the amount of time you have and on budget, because it will require for the setup, the entire setup, and this is everything is the sensor, the LCD, the structure. It will demand the product to be certified and to be trained. So the AI, and correct me if I'm saying something wrong, Mike and Till, but you need your model, your AI, to be trained with the specific environment that will be found on the final setup, right?
Yes, that's exactly true. So we are gaining, as Mike pointed out, we're gaining more and more experience, and then we are getting more and more good data. So we are envisioning that on the long run, this will not be necessary anymore. But now, for the time being, we have to understand more about the parameters and get our AI more flexible.
So we can envision in the future having a solution for different setups with already solution trained, that it will be easier to deploy to the market. For the time being, as Thilo was mentioning, it needs to be trained. we have some options from our side. So the Tile Pro, it's done. But then if you need something different from the sensor and controller point of view, things that matter are the sensor resolution and the controller that we will be using versus the dimension and the size. So all of that is a factor. We have done already with the Skin Ultra. We already done with the mesh, also with the round. It's a matter of reaching out to us or to Interactive Scape and to define, look, this is the idea. I want to accomplish this kind of solution. What will be the next steps for us to develop this? And we will address that and discuss what will be the next steps, what will be the requirements. Most probably we'll need to have one unit sitting down with Interactive Scape for a couple of weeks so they can have the AI training the solution. But the best approach on this is to reach out to us, because definitely there are many tweaks on all of the equation, and we can give you some details depending on exactly what you want to achieve. Okay. Luigi, what hardware is needed for the object recognition to function properly? Is there a periodic fee or is it a one-time cost?
So yeah, hardware-wise, Thilo showed it already from our side. You get a little box, which we call Scape X module. On there, we have the Scape X engine running. The special Scape engine then for your custom hardware product or for the certified solutions as the Tile Pro, for example. That's it hardware-wise from our side, so to say. Of course, you will need some objects and a fitting display with the fitting controller, so to say. But yeah, then you get access to the 2U data and can work with that on an application PC and in a certain application development language where you want to work with.
I think it's clear. Thank you. Zach, can you please explain the process of creating content that is reactive to the objects?
Yeah, so maybe that's also a similar point as Mike pointed out already. So from my software development point of view, there is a protocol which is specified, so which is called 2U protocol, and we have provided on our GitHub some implementations of in different languages which allow you to connect to our Scape X module and the 2U data and handle it in a more readable fashion, but that's the way you interact. So we have provided the JavaScript implementation, we have a Python implementation, we have a C# implementation, we have a Unity client and some examples. And so that's how we work with it in our projects, and which should allow you also to engage with objects in your projects. But don't hesitate, so either contact us directly or on GitHub, ask questions. If you miss something, we are happy to provide things which we might already have in our projects, but not published. So, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, also when it comes to the different options, there is a wide variety. So coming from more standardized solutions like Intuiface, Ventus, Touch Designer, there you already natively have that integrated, up to really hard coding web applications, React.js, and everything in between. We can help. And also, if you are into touch applications already, from my experience as a business manager, so to say, I always get surprised reactions how easy it is to add object information next to touch information, because the cool thing is we don't take anything away. Touch interactions, of course, work. Touch applications that you start on a Scape X engine capable device will work. You can do pinch to zoom, but you have an additional layer that you can use if you want to, if it makes sense for the use case.
Good. So coming back to Anna, how many different objects can be used at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we have standards. Our standard objects are labeled from 1 to 24. So there's 24 different IDs which allow you to connect your application with different content to one of these IDs. But of course, you can, if you want to, you can use multiple ones or multiple twos. So that's and this then opens up to many more possibilities. Or we have implemented also combinations of objects, or you can also, in your application, of course, move objects together and then display content on depending on how close objects are. So I don't know, infinite is quite hard to say for me as a mathematician, but very many so 24 and up is probably the number. So standard wise 24, but we're happy to discuss more.
No,
Yeah.
maybe I can point to some subjective tests. So we did it with like 50 objects and 20 fingers on a screen simultaneously without any issue. Then the issue is more the space on the display. And of course, where to put the content.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yes, but I think that it's already some good indication, and I think that it could also be interesting if the project requires more than those 24, or if you have different ideas, it's something also that you can help to figure out how to accomplish those notes. But it's good. So 24 up, as Tilo was mentioning. So, Paul, I still see a bit of lag when the objects are moved. Is that inherent to capacitive touch tech, or is that delays in processing or to you, or how can that be optimized? I think that there are several things that are happening here, which is the broadcast itself generates some lag, and then maybe the feedback from the application side.
Yeah, so there is some lag, of course, but so that's one thing we're always optimizing for, of course, is a reduction of lag. But as Nunu already pointed out, okay, there's also the application which might lag a little, and so yeah, that's always something which we work on, but yeah. And we are sure to reduce in the future.
Also, as hardware components get better, of course, we can work with better and faster data transmission to enhance this. In this application and in this mode, of course, it's also, we learned that it's more soothing for the eye if you have this like rubber band effect. So therefore, it may feel like more lag than it actually is, but definitely compared to optical touch systems at this very moment, this is, I think, the last disadvantage maybe, that we don't have exactly the same speed, just nearly the same speed, but we are sure it won't take long for us to get there.
Good. Thank you. So, Thomas, if I want to put together a table with 6 units of 55 tiles screens with Scape X solution, do I need one model box? Yeah, actually, you will need 6.
6 of them.
6 of them, and it needs to be with the Tile Pro, which is the one that's prepared to work with Scape X.
Yeah. So you will need one box because you need one engine per display, so to say. To connect that in the maximum speed and so on. But for that, because I also read another question, it's a one-time purchase. So you purchase it as a display one time. You even get some hardware, some Scape X updates over time. As we train the AI, it gets better. But for this moment, it's a one-time purchase as with the display.
Thank you. So, Pedro, Matt Pazura made this question. When I'd like to create a real video wall with DISPLAX Pro, it will display combined resolution like 8K. What if I can provide video output in only 4K?
Let me, I need to read it again.
Some math. If you do all together, it's 8K. If you output if it puts.
Okay. Oh, it kind of depends on the way you are building your video wall. Each screen will natively only output 1080p full HD resolution. Depending on how many units you will have, of course, you can achieve an 8K, maybe an 8K resolution using video wall processors as well, helping processing all that data, and of course, powerful GPU graphics card will be necessary for that. So it depends a bit on the setup and also on the number of units you want and the orientation you want to put together.
Guillaume, can you explain the benefits of using this technology for an interactive wall in comparison with a vanilla LED wall with a 2D leader in front of it? I'm not familiar with the 2D leader.
I think it's an IR solution,
okay.
And one of the benefits it's the fact that it's PCAP. So it's not, as I mentioned earlier, it's not affected by any external factors such as light or anything that can cut the signal. Let's say. Also, for cleaning and interaction wise, it feels more comfortable to touch a glass than an LED panel. And also it's very much more smooth, and it can provide a more sleek design and amazing aesthetics. That's also one of the advantages.
So next, does TSI Touch provide complete solutions all over the US and Canada? From Anna.
Yes, we do. We can provide complete solutions from displays to mounts to touch solutions. Basically, everything you need to get the project up and running, we can do that across the United States and Canada.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So, moving on. Roberto Mendesival. Ultra will work as a standard profile with our special calibration at your site. It allows better customized designs. Let me see, Roberto. It has been a while since we talked, but let me check. It's not out of the box. That's one of the questions that we were discussing. So it depends on the size of the touch sensor. It also depends on glass thickness. It also depends on the LCD and the all configuration that you have. So in order for us to be able to train, or for Interactive Scape to train the engine properly, we would have to account for all those variables. Our expectation is that over time, as we continue to learn from all these setups and for all these certifications that we will be doing, we will be learning and we will make it in such a way that it can be something like you are mentioning. Out of the box, a standard dimension could work with a specific model. It's kind of that, right, Mike? Yeah. So next, Hamed, if I buy an engine, will I receive all the tools needed to develop my own software solution?
Yes. So, of course, tools is a big word. Of course, it's important that you have like the display and the engine being on one side, and your application PC and the application software on the other side. So this is like the separated system, so to say. So of course, on our display and engine side, you will receive all the tools necessary. We already mentioned TUYU. You can find a lot of frameworks and SDKs on tuyu.org, as well as on our own GitHub. For example, we published a Unity client just lately. In other helpful tools to get into React.js, stuff like that. We work with Touch Designer and others on even implementing TUYU 2.0 natively in their platform. So you can, for example, also work with the mobile recognition right away with Intuiface as well. So there are a lot of tools, and there is a clear connection, a clear API to use those tools. and we are more than happy to help ourselves or connect to partners that can help, because we have dozens and dozens of diverse application partners and agencies all around the globe, working then also in completely diverse fields like control rooms and museum installations. They use it completely differently. So just talk to us and we are happy to connect, or even send our own non-published helpful content maybe.
Good, thank you. I don't know if we have much more questions to answer. Roberto, again, what is the difference in using 2U1 or 2U2 when developing an OR solution with Scape X?
Yeah, so from my side, so there's 2U2 provides some extra information which we can provide. For example, the mobile recognition only works with 2U2, but like the standard functionality also works fine with 2U1. So if you're used to using 2U1, you're fine to use all the touch and objects for your application, but mobile will only work with 2U2, since we need an extra part of the protocol to attach the necessary information from the mobile phone to the objects.
Because maybe just really quick to that, we could differentiate the phones just by their capacitive effect, but you could of course have 3 people coming with the same iPhone to a table. So what we do there as well is we use the motion sensor inside the phone to set the special ID with each phone. So you could also come with the same phone, with the same mobile device, having the same PCAP effect. But since the phone also then speaks via 2U 2.0 with the table application, with the motion sensor, we can set special IDs independent from the PCAP effect.
So I think that it's kind of, it covers all the questions that we had so far. This doesn't need to end here. So what I would invite, if you come, as you digest from all the information, if you have more questions, just feel free to reach out to us or to Interactive Scape. We will be gladly answering all the questions that you have. And if you have questions for Chris also, by all means, just post them. I hope that this was an interesting and informative session to all of you guys. I would like to thank you all for your presence, and also thank the extreme collaboration of our co-hosts, Mike, Thilo, and Chris, and Nelson. Thank you very much for everyone, and I hope that you find it useful. We will be sharing this afterwards, so we'll be able to revisit this information, and feel free to reach out to our website at DISPLAX.com, or just send us an email at touch@DISPLAX.com. I don't know if you guys want to say some goodbye words just before we close the session.
I think from our side, we cannot top that. Thanks also to you, Nuno, for the moderation of the session. Yeah, looking forward to the next webinar.
Yep, indeed, definitely.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Okay, stay tuned. We will have one webinar in a couple of weeks, but we will give some more details on that. It will be a different topic, but for sure, I think it will make sense for us from time to time revisit this collaboration with the Scape X, and to have also some more use cases. I think that we can look ahead and see how soon can we bring more interesting information to the market. So everyone, thank you so much for staying with us for more than 1 hour. And stay tuned. Let us know if we can help in any way. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.